Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 3, chapter number 18, text number 1. Maitreya Vacha Tadevam Akarnaya Jalesha Bhashitam Mahamanastad Viganaya Durmadaha Harer Viditva Gatimanganarada Rasatalam Nirvisheshat Tvarananvitaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Maitreya continued, the proud and falsely glorious Daitya paid little heed to the words of Varuna. O dear Vidura, he learned from Narada the whereabouts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and hurriedly betook himself to the depths of the ocean. Purport. Materialistic warmongers are not even afraid to fight with the mightiest enemy, the personality of Godhead. The demon was very encouraged to learn from Varuna that there was one fighter who could actually combat him. And he was very enthusiastic to search out the Supreme Personality of Godhead just to give him a fight, even though it was predicted by Varuna that by fighting with Vishnu he would become prey for dogs, jackals and vultures. Since demoniac persons are less intelligent, they dare to fight with Vishnu, who is known as Ajita, or one who has never been conquered. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So here in this verse, Hiranyaksha is being referred as falsely glorious Daitya. He was a Daitya and he was proud and falsely glorious. Varuna had actually told him that there's one fighter who can actually combat him. Because this Daitya was not an ordinary demon, he was very powerful. And Varuna told him that there is one fighter who can actually combat him. And rather than hearing to the words of Varuna, and he also told that he is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he also told that by fighting with Vishnu, he would become prey for dogs, jackals and vultures. But instead of heeding to the advice of Varuna, not to take head-on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, understanding that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Ajita, is unconquerable. Defeat is inevitable. But this Daitya, out of pride, goes in search of the Supreme Lord so that he can fight him. Such demoniac persons are less intelligent. Why they are called less intelligent? Because an intelligent person will keep in mind the circumstances, the might of the enemy. We know India and in Pakistan both are nuclear armed now. Both are cautious. Intelligence means that you are aware of enemy's strength and weakness. And here he is called less intelligent because although he knows the person whom he has to fight is Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Ajita, who can never be conquered, still he is enthusiastic to fight him. So Prabhupada in the purport mentions, materialistic warmongers are not even afraid to fight with their mightiest enemy. A crude example, although may not be very relevant here, but Even in present day world, there are some countries, although America is supposed to be very mighty, both in terms of military strength, economic strength, it's called superpower, but there are some countries in the past who have dared to raise their voice. Because the rulers were in one sense tyrants. We don't know the truth, but nevertheless it appears to be. And so here Prabhupada is saying materialistic warmongers are not even afraid to fight with their mightiest enemy. So this pride comes about originally jiva, Mamaiv amsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. We all are amshas of the Supreme Lord and we are subordinate to Him. We are subservient to Him. Jivera swarupa hoye nityera Krishna das. We are servants of Krishna. And our constitutional position is to humbly serve the Supreme Lord, to obey the Supreme Lord, to please the Supreme Lord. How does this pride comes? When we become disconnected from the Supreme Lord, when we come under the influence of Maya, then naturally we forget our constitutional position. We try to be the Lord, we try to be the Master, we try to be the controller. And more your person is in Maya, the more he thinks that he is the controller, to the extent that he thinks that God is not there, I am God. So that is what is happening to Hrinyaksha here. Prabhupada one time was going with some devotees in a morning walk. And they were walking in a garden and they saw that some portion in the garden there were green grass and small portion in the side there was some dry grass. It was yellowish in color. Sometimes we see grass which gets dried, especially in the summer season, it becomes yellow. Even in the Goshala we have that dry grass. It becomes yellowish. So Prabhupada asked, why is this grass yellow? So devotees started giving different explanation. And then finally Prabhupada said, because it is disconnected from the root. There is no supply of nutrients, water, moisture from it's disconnected. Just like if you cut the grass which is green, you cut it, in no time it will become yellow or it will dry up because it is disconnected from the root. So likewise, all these anomalies in our behavior, pride, lust, greed, anger, these all are symptoms of our disconnection with the Lord. That's why they said, yasyastika, whosoever becomes a pure devotee or devotee of the Lord, all good qualities starts manifesting in his behavior. It automatically starts. I was talking about humility. Humility is not some artificial, some sentimental alignment of our minds. We speak very softly. We always keep our heads down. We don't scold anyone. Generally we have another, he's very humble, very soft spoken. But genuine humility is something different from the external symptoms which we are aware of. Prabhupada at times, he chastised his disciples. He used harsh words. At times he got angry. Somebody might construe that Prabhupada was not humble, but it's not true. The real humility, Prabhupada is insignificant beggar. I have no power to speak. So genuine humility comes when one understands that I am an insignificant beggar, I am a puppet in the hand of the Lord. This is exactly what Hiranyaksha is not having. I am the Lord, I can fight the Lord, I can overpower the Lord, I can defeat the Lord. One time there was a ship, this was earlier, many years back. These days you have modern navigation systems, just like the GPRS and all that. So there was a time when the ship, huge ship, especially when it would be a lot of fog in the ocean, so they'll have very sharp beam of light, and that's how you can identify if some ship is coming from the opposite direction. And that's why sometimes ship would change course or slow down so that there is no collision. So one time there was a big ship moving in the water on the ocean, and this ship, the captain saw a beam of light coming from the opposite direction. So it was evident that it may be some kind of a ship. So because this captain was captain of a very big ship, naturally he was proud. Generally when a person drives a big car, he is relatively more puffed up than a person is, hey, rickshawala. Because it gives him a sense of that I am big. So the captain sent a message that I am captain of a big ship. He named the ship name. He says, you turn 20 degrees. He wanted the other person to turn 20 degree. So back comes a message, you turn 20 degree. Many times we also have fight, no, you are wrong, no, you are wrong. We accuse each other, nobody is willing to budge. So he says, you turn 20 degree. So he gets angry. He says, you know who I am? I'm an A-class officer. I order you turn 20 degrees. So back comes the answer. I'm a C-class worker. You turn 20 degree. He gets all the more angry. Being a worker, how dare he tell a captain of a big ship to turn 20 degree? He says, I'll get you dismissed from the job. How dare you tell me to turn 20 degrees? He says, sir, I plead you, I beg you, I am a lighthouse. You turn 20 degrees. In earlier times there used to be lighthouse. The buildings, top buildings, so that it can give directions to the ships. And seeing the lighthouse, the ships could direct. There was earlier times, not the present times. So he says, I am from the lighthouse, you turn 20 degrees. How can the lighthouse move? So that way, even we, in the name of advancement, like here it's saying, falsely proud in present times, because we have got control of things to some extent. We can diagnose some diseases, we can monitor a lot of things, we can to some extent forecast, weather forecast, we can tell when it's going to rain. To that extent, we have in one way got control over things. And this brings some kind of a pride. And out of pride, many times we even challenge God or come to a conclusion that there is no God. The more and more we are disaligned or not in alignment with God's law, God's principles, which are like the lighthouse principles, the more and more we go away from our constitutional position of being subservient to the Lord, acting as a dasa, the more and more we will suffer in this material world. This is how it is designed. The more and more we are in alignment with our constitutional position, subservient to the Lord, the position of being a dasa, the more and more we will actually experience the bliss we want to experience. But being conditioned soul, somehow lording over, enjoying tendency is very, very deep rooted. Even after becoming devotee, still deep within that enjoying tendency, I am the enjoyer, that false ego is so prominent. The whole process of bhakti is somehow to give up this pride, to give up this enjoying tendency and come back to our constitutional position of being a servant of the Lord. That's why here it's called Daitya. It's a demon. Demon doesn't mean, sharp claws and, horns on the head and black face. Generally in serials which we see in television, they portray demons or villains, ugly looking. It's a demoniac mentality, the consciousness. The mentality of challenging the Supreme Lord. The mentality of not agreeing to serve the Supreme Lord. So here we are seeing this in the behavior, the character, the words of Hiranyaksha. In Kali Yuga, we are seeing more and more in present times, although as I was mentioning earlier, we are advancing in many fronts technologically. In so many areas we have advanced. There's no doubt about it. But more and more we are advancing, the more and more we are becoming in one sense rebellious to God. There was a time when naturally when you are helpless, you tend to remember God. The more and more we are in control of things, the more and more we think that God is obsolete, not required. We can manage without God. One time these 4 Pandavas, Yudhishthira Maharaj was not there. The 4 Pandavas, they were with Krishna and they were having a conversation and they asked Krishna, what is going to happen in Kali Yuga? What will be the symptoms of people in Kali Yuga? So Krishna, instead of replying, he took 4 arrows and shot those arrows in 4 different directions and told them, kindly go and get me those arrows. You'll get answers to your question. So Arjuna went in one direction in search of arrow, and finally he saw the arrow and he saw a very cute cuckoo bird singing very melodiously. Cuckoo birds, the sound is very, very pleasant. So Arjuna was, when he heard that voice, he was charmed, so to say, by that sweet little word from the cuckoo bird. When he went near the bird, near the tree, he saw the cuckoo bird actually was eating the flesh of a live rabbit, and the rabbit was wriggling in pain. Somehow he was surprised what kind of scene he is seeing. Cuckoo bird, sweet little bird, supposed to sing very melodiously, and here is eating flesh of a live rabbit and the rabbit is wriggling in pain. He immediately took the arrow and came back to Krishna, not able to comprehend what he has seen. Then Bhima went in another direction. He saw there are 5 wells, 4 wells and the 1 well in between these 4 wells. Each of these 4 wells is swelling with water. Water is overflowing, sweet little water is overflowing from the wells, and the well in the center, the 5th well, is completely dry, completely empty. He was also surprised by this sight. What is this? All 5 wells are together, 4 wells are overflowing with water, and the 5th well is completely dry. Not able to comprehend, he comes back. Nakula goes in another direction, tries to pick up the arrow, And here he sees a cow has given birth to a baby calf or whatever calf, and after birth it seems the mother cow licks the calf till it gets clean and keeps on licking the calf, keeps on licking, even though the calf has become completely clean, keeps on licking. Finally the cowman has to pull the calf away from the cow. By then the calf had become wounded. There were wounds in the body because of excessive licking by the mother cow. So he was also surprised, how can mother cow hurt her own calf? And Sahadev goes in another direction. He picks up the arrow. It's at the foothills of a hill, big mountain, and he sees from the top of the mountain a big boulder, big rock is rolling down the hill. Big boulder. And as it's rolling down, all the big trees, rocks, whichever is coming on the way, it's smashing it. It's smashing all the things which comes in its way. And finally the boulder is coming down. And to his surprise, when it almost reaches the down, there is small little grass and the boulder stops. Stops rolling down and stops. That small little grass holds the boulder. Again he is bewildered. What's going on? Big trees are uprooted and small little grass has stopped this boulder and it's not moving down. So they all come back to Krishna and says, this is what we saw. So Krishna explains, the first thing of the cuckoo bird singing very sweetly but eating live rabbit says that in Kali Yuga, so-called God-men, so-called spiritualists will speak sweet words, will appear to be the well-wishers, but they will exploit the followers. The people who will surrender to them, this we see very often happening in Kali Yuga. So many scams happen, so many so-called God-men. People are gullible. Although not many are spiritually inclined, even though they are spiritually inclined, they get cheated because the real knowledge is not there. What is genuine spirituality is not there. Unless we are fortunate to get in touch with a bona fide spiritual master coming in a bona fide parampara, we will also get cheated. Today we are here not because we were intelligent enough to discriminate who is a bona fide God-man. It's Prabhupada's causeless mercy. So there will be God-men who will speak sweet words, but they will exploit, they cheat, they eat their so-called followers. Then the 5 wells, 4 wells overflowing with water and the 5th well completely dry, it signifies that in Kali Yuga there will be extreme disparity in distribution of wealth. On one side we'll have people who are filthy rich. We see this happening in this world. In fact, the disparity is on the rise. It says 1% of Americans hold some 90 or 95% of the total wealth in America. They are billionaires, people like Bill Gates, 40, 50, 60 billion dollars. So, and simultaneously, in the same place you might also see people living who are completely poverty stricken. They don't have food to eat. The third arrow, Nakula, when he went and saw that cow licking the calf, it indicates that the parents, they'll be very affectionate to their children. They'll show so much of affection to their children, so much of love, and that love will actually spoil the children. Parents also, when you show love, when you exhibit qualities which is not backed by shastric understanding, like I mentioned, humility means just to be kind, not speak harshly, not scold, to speak always pleasing words. not reprimand anyone, not to get angry. In the name of being gentle to the child, in the name of giving a good upbringing, parents pamper their children and they get spoiled. Sometimes they wonder, what wrong we did? We gave everything he wanted. Gave so much of love. That's not enough. The way we live, the way we act in this world should be backed with right knowledge. Just the intention is not enough. And the last, the boulder falling from the top of the hill and all the trees getting crushed when it's moving down, and finally one small little grass holding the boulder, it indicates that the Kali Yuga, the character of people will degrade like the boulder coming from it will fall, the character will fall actually. People will degrade. Kaler dosh nidhe rajan. But finally the boulder is stopped by a small little grass, insignificant grass. What does that grass indicate? Kaler dosh nidhe rajan astireko mahad guna. Kirtana deva Krishna se. By chanting the name of Krishna, that small little sound vibration appears to be insignificant sound vibration. That sound vibration can stop that degradation, that fall of character, the degradation which is there, which we are observing in the character and behavior of Hiranyaksha. In one sense, we are also like demons. If we analyze our consciousness, the saving grace is what can really stop us is if we take to the holy name, chanting of the holy names of the Lord, then this falling from grace, we say, falling of character, it can stop. In one sense, there was mentioned in one of the classes, many times devotees, we take all what we are doing for granted. And sometimes grass is greener the other side. We feel that, it can be practiced outside also. Sometimes we face some kind of a discomfort. Actually, when we are in association of devotees, when we are chanting, when we are hearing, when we are attending the sadhana, it's like a dam. These forces of Kali Yuga actually are stopped. This dam is holding the forces of Kali Yuga, our forces of guna, kala, karma. We don't know what all forces we have to encounter in life. Actually, the sadhana, the chanting of the holy name, association, Nityam Bhagavata Seva is holding that force. Moment this dam opens, we'll be inundated with guna, kala and karma forces. If we stop chanting or for some reason the chanting gets affected, we start chanting mechanically day after day, lose interest and all that, then the forces of guna, kala, karma will overpower us, overwhelm us to the extent that all these demoniac qualities will again start resurfacing us. To the extent we are following this process very diligently, the forces are checked at bay and all the good qualities will start gradually manifesting in our behavior and character. Actually, in one sense, yes, we are demoniac. We are Kali Yuga products in one sense. Varna Sankara, this word is used, Kalau Shudra Sambhava, Shudras in that sense. The saving grace is the Lord's holy name. If we take shelter of, by the mercy of a pure devotee of the Lord, we Shudras, we in one sense, Varna Sankaras also have a hope that this boulder of degradation, that Kali Yuga which is hitting all of us, we can be saved. So these are the few insights we get from this verse. On one side we have Hiranyakashipu demons challenging the Supreme Lord, and in spite of Narada telling, in spite of Varuna telling, he is not giving heed to their instructions. Falsely glorious Daitya paid little heed to the words of Varuna. Now when we hear Bhagavatam daily, or when we are in association of devotees, we also have anarthas and we will be advised. We will be told what to do, what not to do. Our shortcomings will be pointed out. Our anarthas will be pointed out. We will be advised. But if we are demoniac mentality, then here it is said, paid little heed to the words of Varuna. Prabhupada, Krishna acts very dynamically. They all want us to improve, become nice, pure devotees. From time to time, guidance will come. Sometimes people wonder, we require a physical guru. We are practicing spiritual life, and the Lord, Super Soul, Chaitya Guru, can act mysterious ways. We can get direction from so many sources. And if we are humble, if we are properly situated, we'll take heeds to the words of, if we get some advice from some senior devotees, some senior Vaishnavas, we are hearing a lecture of Prabhupada, something we hear, we will take those words seriously. And if we are infected, if we are demonic mentality, we take no heed to. Somebody is saying we should chant attentively, somebody is saying we should attend all the programs, where is this thing? Chalta hai. So, we are very fortunate that we have an opportunity, although we may have this kind of mentality, but we have an opportunity glorious opportunity to rectify, to purify. And once we get purified, then as I mentioned earlier, the more and more we are aligned to our constitutional position as servants of Krishna, the more and more we will be happy, the more and more we will be blissful. The more and more we are disaligned, the more and more miserable we will be. The miseries of this material world, guna, kala, karma will impact us. So with these words we'll stop here. Granth Raj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.